So we are having here two scenarios for Amanda and Jim. Both of them are using Xtreme Trader Forex signals. And Amanda is entering the signals with a 3% of her capital risk plan. And she's closing every signal when it reaches take profit number 1. That's her only plan. Which means Amanda can't get more than 20 pips only from each and every signal she is entering. And since Xtreme Trader is sending 4 to 7 signals per day, we can assume that in the best possible scenario, if we have sent 7 signals and all of them have reached the take profit level number 1, Amanda can make 140 pips as maximum per day. She won't be able to make more than that. Now the good thing is that Amanda is not really worried about the stop loss of 50 pips. Why? Because in Xtreme Trader Forex signal channels, we are usually announcing to close the signal with between 0 to 20 pips in loss. If we have noticed that the signal is going against our direction, the 50 pips stop loss is just right there to stop the bleeding of the account if in case the market has suddenly went against our direction for any unexpected reason. But we are usually preventing the signal from hitting the stop loss. I would say in about 80% of the time, we are actually preventing the signal from reaching the stop loss. However, by the end of the week, Amanda has actually ended the week with 200 pips, considering the profitable signals and the signals which we have closed in loss. Now for the second scenario, Mr. Jim right here. He's also using Xtreme Trader Forex signals, but Jim is actually risking 5% of his capital per trade. However, Jim is using the signals in a different way than Amanda. Amanda is actually entering every single signal we are sending. However, Jim is using a different method. Jim is entering only 1 or 2 signals per day, only if the signals are matching up with his own analysis. So Jim is somehow experienced trader, and he will analyze the market by himself, and if he feels that our signal is matching up with his analysis, he will open 3 trades per signal. Which means if we send a signal to sell the Euro USD, for example, he will open 3 trades to sell the Euro USD. Which means if this signal of the Euro USD have actually reached the take profit number 1, Jim would have ended with the signal at 60 pips of profit. He would have made 60 pips of profit from one signal. And if we have entered another signal and it went also to the take profit number 1, and since he have opened 3 trades per signal, he would have ended up with another 60 pips, meaning he would have ended the day with 120 pips for these 2 signals only. Now, different scenario for Jim. He's actually gonna let the signal to reach take profit number 3. So for example, we have sent the signal to sell the Euro USD and we have set 100 pips as take profit number 3. Jim have actually analyzed the Euro USD and it matches up with his own analysis along with the signal. So he's gonna open 3 trades for shorting the Euro USD. Now what's gonna happen? If this signal reaches take profit number 3, Jim would have ended with 300 pips. Even though, as Xtreme Trader, we would have claimed only 100 pip from this signal, Jim would have gotten out with 300 pips. So by the end of the week, Amanda have made 200 pips only. Jim have made 900 pips of profit in that week. But however, Xtreme Trader have ended the week making a total of 650 pips. How did Jim make more than what we have announced and Amanda have made less than what we have announced? Because both of them are using the signals in their own way, in a different way. Since Amanda is relying on take profit number 1, there is no way that she can make the same pips that we have announced. Jim is actually entering the signals 3 times, so every signal is multiplied by 3. That's why he would have actually made much more than what we have announced. So the idea here is every client is using the signal in their own way. You can't really tell that every signal is gonna make the same amount of pips every single week. That is simply not possible. So in other words, when we say that we have made thousands of pips this week, that's actually the maximum of pips that could have been done based on our targets which we have provided. Again, when we say that we have made thousands of pips this week, Amanda have made 200 pips only out of this 1,000. Tony have made 381 pips out of the 1,000 that we have announced. Jim, because he's opened multiple trades for the signals, he have ended the week even more than us. He have made 1,500 pips this week from our signals. So again, we can't actually rely that every single client is gonna use the signal exactly the same way. Some clients complain that the signals that we are announcing are actually false or incorrect because they have used a different way. I actually have seen comments from clients who are saying that when you say, Salah, that you have made this week 415 pips, that's a false statement because your signals have made only 200 pips. And when I ask him, how did you do that? He say, because I was using take profit number 1. And I was just scratching my head like, okay, so you use take profit number 1. What about the others? There are others who have used take profit number 1 and 2 and 3 as well. What about these people? Aren't they counted in your opinion? Don't you think that we have to count what they have done? If you have relied only on take profit number 1, so what about the others who use take profit numbers 2 and 3? So again, I'm trying to explain here that the signals amount that we are announcing is the maximum logically which could have been done from our signals. Now it's up to each and every client how they are using the signals. Now that leads us to the most important part of this video, which is of course the copier. So let me just show you something right here. The whole idea of the copier, my friends, is to make sure that none of our clients is gonna miss the signals. They actually might be busy driving their cars or sleeping by the time of the signals went out, or maybe they are busy at work, and most of them actually gotta be busy at work. So the whole principle of the auto copier to help these clients to still trading the signals without actually the need of sitting in front of their computers or looking at our signals. They will just simply open their MetaTrader and just look at the signals being opened and closed automatically without the need from them to do anything at all. So for example, we have here sent a signal to sell the pound USD on the premium group. The sell order for the pound USD is gonna be triggered for all of the clients, all of them around the world. And the good thing here is, if we have sent this signal or the announcement to close the signal right now with 17 pips of loss, it's also gonna be closed in loss of 17 pips for all of them. That's exactly what I have talked about earlier, that we are doing the best we can to prevent the signal from reaching the stop loss of 50 pips. So again, the 50 pips of stop loss is just there to stop the bleeding or any sudden movement on the market. But again, 90% or 85% of our signals, when they are going in loss, we close them in loss less than 50 pips. Now, I want to say something. There is a big misunderstanding about this copier. Some of the clients, they have joined this copier assuming that once we are announcing that we have made this week 415 pips, they think that they're gonna get out with exactly the same amount of 415 pips. Well, this is not how this works. And please allow me to explain the reason. Ivan here. Or actually, you know something, before we move to Ivan, let me just show you something. Actually, this is the page where you can actually join the premium group along with the copier. So here you will need to enter your details and choose your plan. And however, right here, you will have to select your trading strategy. Now pay attention that we are having so far 3 options, but in the future, we are going to increase these options and gonna somehow change some of them. We need your feedbacks, my friends, in order to achieve the best options possible for these trading strategies. However, let me show you an example here. We have here option number 1, enable multiple take profit levels. Now, Ivan right here, he have actually went to this plan of open multiple trades on each signal. What does that mean? It means that once, for example, we send a signal to sell the Euro USD, it's gonna trigger 3 sell orders. Each of them will have 1 take profit level. So the first trade is gonna have take profit number 1. The second trade will have take profit number 2. The third trade, of course, will have take profit number 3. Now this is actually not really so much a good plan. It's kind of risky, and we will actually do something about it. I actually have seen in the comments on YouTube some clients complaining that so many stop losses hidden this week, and I was wondering, how did this happen? We had only one signal, which was the pound CAD. That was the only signal which has reached the stop loss, yet the members are complaining about so many stop losses being hidden. And finally it came to my mind that these guys have actually joined the option number 1, where every signal getting in loss, if it reaches the stop loss, it's gonna trigger 3 times the stop loss, which is actually not so good plan. But again, that's an option. You have chosen this option and to go with this one. So again, let me just tell you now the advantages of this one. So for example, if we have sent the signal to sell the Euro USD, and Ivan right here have went to the first option number 1, where actually he can open 3 trades for this signal. If this signal reach take profit number 3, he's gonna get out with 100 pips of profit, which is fantastic. However, Bill right here, he have chosen a different plan. Let me show you. Bill have chosen to go with the option number 3, open 1 position, close position after take profit number 1 is reached. Which means once this signal of sell the Euro USD is reached, or has actually reached take profit number 1, is gonna close the trade automatically for him with only 20 pips of profit. So as you can see, Ivan and Bill, they are both using the premium group, they are both using the copier. Ivan gotten out with the trade with 100 pips of profit, but Bill have went out with only 20 pips of profit. That's the reason they actually varying, or the results are varying between the clients. It's not the same at all, so you can't really assume that if you have joined the copier, you will get out with exactly the same amount of pips that we have announced. Now, there is another thing I need to explain right here, which I really cannot believe, but I think I have to explain it because it shocked me to see these kind of complaints, and I'm thinking, how did these people join Forex trading? And I still need to explain this. Let me show you what this thing right here. So this is actually real, guys. I'm not joking. One of the clients have actually sent us this picture, and he's telling us that all of your signals are in loss. And once we checked out, all of the signals actually, most of them have went in a profit. However, he was complaining about these signals, as you can see, 0.0.0, very small and tiny losses. The problem here is he thought that once he opened the signal, for example, let me just show it to you. He thought that once he opened the signal for a sell order, for example, it's gonna be immediately in profit. Instantly it's gonna be in profit. Should be green instantly. Of course, guys, that's not gonna happen. That's not even possible. Most of the times the market will be ranging in the opposite direction of our trades. It can happen, of course, before finally become in profit. You need to understand that you need to give it some more time for the signal to be in profit. You can never assume that the moment you open the trade, it's gonna be instantly be in profit. That's not how things are working. So again, please be careful and pay attention to the signals that they can actually be in loss for some time before finally become in good profit. So in the end, my friends, I hope this have actually explained to you somehow how the copier working. And if you have any questions or concerns about the copier or the premium group, please drop them in the comments, and I promise I will answer each and every single one of them, as long as they are making some sense. Because actually I'm tired of the questions which doesn't really make any sense, such as this one which I have just shown you here with that client who complaining about all of the signals running in loss, but they actually not. They just went in loss for a few time, only for a few moments before finally become in profit. So in the end, I hope that is informative to you, and I would like to thank you for watching.